episode of the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. I would have bought y'all this content earlier, but that was before I got sick. Okay? So I had to shut it down virtually all last week. Okay? Because I was sick and I was busy with work. Okay? So, not a good combination. Yeah. So anyway, um, the Rio Grande gorge. Okay. There have been 7 suicide deaths at the Rio Grande gorge. Okay. More than twice the annual average of suicides there since record keeping in the 1990s. Okay. The latest victim to end her life was 48-year-old Stacy Andrews of Parker, Colorado. Okay. Bridge security reported Stacy Andrews Sepp. Okay. Bridge security reported that Stacy Andrews Sepp drove along US 64 pathway across the structure Wednesday afternoon, then abruptly stopped on the bridge on the east side, exited her vehicle, and I would stop right there. Okay. Yeah. So, that suicide death came prior to a community rally for accountability at the bridge, okay, which was held on Friday by True Kids One, Help and Outreach, a suicide prevention nonprofit, okay. True Kids One and Help Outreach, a suicide prevention nonprofit, okay. And there have been calls for the state to erect higher railings on the structure have gathered momentum over the past year. Lawmakers of the Department of Transportation are working to secure funding for at least a flexible and sturdy design for the proposed improvements. The Golden Gate Bridge has installed safety nets. Okay. For those who may not remember, Kevin Hines nearly ended his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay. Then they installed safety nets on the bridge. Okay. So hopefully they can put some safety measures on the Rio Grande Gorge. Okay. Stacy Andrews Sepp marks 4 more than the annual average since record keeping began. 3 of those 7 people took their own lives in at least the last 3 weeks of September. And I'm just guessing this happened at the Rio Grande Gorge. And I believe on September 20th, I believe it was Taos County Sheriff's the deputy that ended their life, if I'm not mistaken. Then another one, Noah Salmons of 15. Noah Salmons, 15 years old, ended his life. Okay. Other body recovery missions at the bridge occurred on September the 2nd and September the 6th. Okay. On September the 9th, A man was intercepted in his car at the bridge after relatives called 911 to report he was en route and he had expressed suicidal thoughts. Okay, so they were able to stop that one. Okay, yeah, they were able to stop that one. Yeah, so hopefully higher rail railings, improved safety measures can be made at the Rio Grande gorge. Okay, so I saw this just now. Um, oh, okay. Okay. Um, hold on. There you go. That's the story I'm looking for. Okay. So I just saw this. There was a Parkland shooting survivor, Donovan, Donovan Metayer. Hope I said that right. Donovan Metayer. Um, died by suicide at the age of 26. So he had what we call survivor's guilt. Survivor's guilt. Okay. Basically, survivor's guilt is if you survive something like Donovan did, um, you wonder why you had to why you had to survive, but they didn't, and you carry the guilt of the people who lost their lives with you. Okay, survivor's guilt. Um, come on, there we go. Donovan was a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, when a mass shooter killed 17 people February 14th, 2018. So he died of suicide. Um, Donovan's sister, Nancy Metayer Bowen, wrote that Donovan died by suicide on December 15th, following a 7-year battle with schizophrenia. Mm. Eh. Donovan, an IT professional, was a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland when the mass shooter opened fire. The loss of our family's youngest child is a sorrow beyond words, one that will echo through our lives forever. His family wrote on a GoFundMe page to help create funeral expenses. That's why I help fund an organization that assists with behavioral health conditions in Florida. Yet, even in our grief, we are choosing to speak Donovan's truth so that other families do not have to suffer in silence the way we have. The family could continue. The baby of the Metayer family, Danny, as he was affectionately called, was a radiant child, brilliant and curious. He always excelled academically with an intellect matched by a magnetic humor and warmth that could light up any room. Effortlessly, the family said of Donovan, who was born on September 16th, 1999. The family went on candidly to detail how Donovan's final year of high school was marred by the shooting that left 17 dead and 17 others injured, and how he carried unimaginable sorrow that left him dealing with severe mental health issues, including depression, guilt, emotional instability, and long periods of isolation, which replaced the vibrant young man we once knew. Though he had dreamt of college and the future in computer science, his worsening mental health made those dreams difficult to reach, the family said. Over the years that followed, he would be hospitalized with multiple times for suicidal ideation. Like so many young people, he struggled to accept a mental health diagnosis. According to his loved ones, Donovan underwent years of treatment that included therapy and medication, and one mental health episode in 2021 resulted in him in receiving involuntary treatment under Florida's Baker Act, meaning a law enforcement official health professional or judge placed him on a temporary involuntary mental health hold for crisis evaluation and stabilization. The Baker Act also temporarily barred him from purchasing a firearm. Danny often masked his pain to not burden those he loved, even as our family fought alongside him. His family wrote, finding care through limited resources, systemic barriers, and the realities of navigating mental health as a black man made his path all the more steep. Donovan and his family eventually became involved with the Henderson Behavioral Health Clinic as well as a private psychiatrist, which both became a lifelong offering guidance, compassion, and hope for his future. With their support, Danny began to heal, earning an IT certificate and joining the team at Office Depot in Coral Springs, where he was quickly promoted. The family wrote on GoFundMe. After years of challenges, he was beginning to carve out a sense of independence and a future he could believe in. His progress was a source of immense pride for our family. Despite the progress made, Donovan's risk protection order, a civil court order that prohibits a person from purchasing a firearm, lapsed earlier this month, his family said. That the 26-year-old was allowed to purchase a handgun. A week later, he would a week later, and now I'll stop right there. Or pause right there. Danny's passing is a heartbreaking reminder of the mental health crisis plaguing our youth and the lasting trauma of gun violence on our community, the family said. As we grieve his loss, we are breaking the code of silence in his memory. Donovan's sister also shared a GoFundMe on Facebook, thanking the community for their support following their brother's death. I see your messages, hear your voicemails, and I am deeply grateful for every expression of remorse. Donovan's sister wrote. The Metayer family plans to use some of the money raised to endow a fund at the Henderson Clinic that will provide health care, housing, and hope for people of all ages with behavioral health conditions throughout Florida. Though Danny's life was brief, his impact will be everlasting. The family's GoFundMe message concluded. Donovan's visitation and funeral service will take place Saturday, January 3rd in Coral Springs. As of Sunday, December 21st, the GoFundMe has raised $20K towards a $70K goal. Okay. So one of the things that I have posted in my videos is the crisis text line 741-741. And one of the ways you can get connected is you can text strength to 741-741. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so it's tragic and heartbreaking when somebody takes their life, especially around this time of year, when the suicide rates are considered the lowest. Suicide rates are the lowest around this time of year. Now, depression is up, but suicide rates are lower during the fall, winter months. Okay. But a few people called in, and a few people have called 988, and they've lost, lost a few family members. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a few people have lost friends to suicide this year, around this time of year. A few people have called 988, and they've lost friends to suicide. And it's sad. It's sad, it's heartbreaking. This is why I keep saying we need to have more conversations. We need to stop making this a taboo topic. Okay? Because it shouldn't be a taboo topic. The more we talk, the more lives we save. Okay? The more we talk, the more lives we save. And I'm also thinking about the people who I met at Survivor's Day exactly a month ago. Survivors of Suicide Day. I'm thinking about those people who have lost their daughters, their sons to suicide. Okay. I'm thinking about those people as we speak. Okay. And losing anybody to suicide is tragic. It's tragic. Especially if you lose them around this time of year, when this is considered to be a happy time over the year. Well, for a lot of people, it's just not. It's just not a happy time of the year. And those are the people I'm thinking about right now. Those are the people that I'm thinking about right now. Okay. All right. That's it. And that's all for the Sean Farrell podcast. I am out of here. May God bless you all. Merry Christmas. You're loved. You matter. Don't let anybody else ever tell you differently.